Welcome to Traceability TV News, your source for the latest updates on global traceability and safety concerns. I'm your host, Miriam Munyoki.
On to the headlines. Kenya withdraws proposed tax hikes amid protests. Cyril Ramaphosa sworn in for second term as South Africa's president. Monsoon chaos as landslides kill 15 in South Asia. Putin visits Vietnam to strengthen ties amid Western isolation. Ferdinand Omanyala dominates Olympic trials, sets world lead in 100 meters. Tiger Woods receives lifetime exemption for PGA Tour's premier events.
Kenya's government has retracted plans for multiple tax hikes after nationwide protests. The revised bill removes the proposed 16% VAT on bread, sugar transport, financial services, and foreign exchange transactions, along with a 2.5% motor vehicle tax. Protests dubbed Occupy Parliament led to clashes with police, resulting in 210 arrests, including journalists and rights observers. Amnesty Kenya called for the immediate release of detainees. President William Ruto's administration had introduced tax changes to boost revenue and reduce borrowing for the fiscal year. Cyril Ramaphosa was inaugurated for a second term as South Africa's president in Pretoria, calling his coalition government the beginning of a new era. This coalition includes his weakened African National Congress Party and 5 other parties such as the Centre-Right Democratic Alliance. Ramaphosa, re-elected by lawmakers last week after the May elections that resulted in no outright winner, highlighted the importance of forming a government of national unity. The ANC lost its majority for the first time since 1994, securing only 40% of the vote. Ramaphosa faces the challenge of balancing diverse agendas and forming a cohesive cabinet. Heavy monsoon rains triggered deadly landslides in Bangladesh and India, claiming at least 15 lives and displacing millions. Simultaneously, in India's Assam state, over 160,000 people were affected by floods and landslides, with casualties mounting since May due to torrential rains. Amid these disasters, at least 9 people were killed and dozens of others injured after a cargo train collided with a passenger train in eastern India. Russian President Vladimir Putin arrived in Vietnam, fresh from a rare meeting with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Putin seeks to boost economic ties and demonstrate that Western isolation is not affecting Russia. In Vietnam, Putin aims to deepen relations with a country that has non-alignment policy and historical ties to Moscow. The visit has drawn criticism from the United States, with the U.S. Embassy spokesperson in Hanoi condemning the trip as an opportunity for Putin to promote his war in Ukraine. Putin expressed gratitude to Vietnam for its balanced position on the Ukraine crisis and aims to strengthen bilateral trade and economic cooperation. Stay tuned after the news as we delve into the intricacies of the Finance Bill 2024, discovering how this legislative proposal could shape Kenya's economic future and affect your daily life. Join us for an insightful exploration after the broadcast.
Hello and welcome to Visibility Sports News. I'm Regan Getao. Ferdinand Omanyala, Africa's fastest man, has set 9.79 seconds world lead in men's 100 meters ahead of Paris Olympics. This performance cements Omanyala's position as a top contender for the upcoming games. Omanyala's competitors, Mark Otieno, 10.12, and Meshak Babu, 10.20, finished second and third, but did not meet the Olympic qualifying standards. As a result, Omanyala will be Kenya's sole representative in the 100 meters event in Paris. Tiger Woods has been awarded a lifetime exemption by the PGA Tour to enter all of its designated signature events. Woods has won 82 PGA Tour titles, including 15 majors, but the 48-year-old has struggled with injuries over recent years. Earlier this week, the PGA's policy board voted to grant Woods a special exemption to play the 8 lucrative tournaments, which do not include majors. He has featured in just 9 tournaments since a car accident in February 2021, which left him requiring surgery after suffering serious leg injuries. Woods is expected to play at the Open Championships in Scotland in July. That wraps up our sport news for today. I have been your host, Regan Gitao. On behalf of my colleague Miriam, thank you for watching and please stay tuned for more updates.
In the heart of East Africa, under the expansive skies of Nairobi, the beating pulse of a nation can be felt. Here, amidst the bustling streets and the vibrant markets, a story unfolds, a story of numbers, policies, and the relentless pursuit of progress. This is the story of the Finance Bill 2024, a legislative blueprint poised to redefine Kenya's economic landscape. Rooted in the annual budget policy statement and budget estimates, this bill represents more than just fiscal policy. It is a reflection of our nation's priorities, challenges, and the choices that will shape our future. To understand the present, we must first look at the past. Kenya's journey with financial legislation began during its colonial period under British rule. The administration introduced financial laws to manage revenue and expenditure, laying the groundwork for later practices. However, the true evolution of the Finance Bill as we know it began after independence in 1963. As the young nation charted its own course, the Financial Bill emerged as an annual legislative requirement, detailing proposed changes to taxation, tariffs, and other financial regulations. Over the decades, Kenya's financial leadership has been marked by key figures like the late President Mwai Kibaki, who was then the financial minister. He established fiscal discipline and promoted industrialization from 1969 to 1982, and the late David Muraria, who modernized financial management and enhanced accountability from 2003 to 2006. Amos Kimunya, from 2006 to 2012, drove significant economic reforms and infrastructure development, while Henry Rotich, from 2013 to 2020, oversaw ambitious projects under Vision 2030, emphasizing fiscal discipline. Most recently, Ukur Yatani, who navigated the economic challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic from 2020 to 2022, implementing crucial fiscal measures to support recovery. The Finance Bill has evolved to reflect Kenya's changing economic priorities and governance structures. It is now a comprehensive document addressing revenue generation and fiscal policy, incorporating public participation for transparency and accountability. The bill, tabled in Parliament by the Cabinet Secretary for National Treasury, undergoes rigorous scrutiny and debate before becoming the Finance Act, guiding fiscal operations for the upcoming financial year. Yet, even as the Finance Bill 2024 navigates the legislative process, the streets of Nairobi tell a story of division and dissent. Protests under the banner Occupy Parliament reveal a nation divided, with citizens voicing their fear and frustration. Hundreds have been arrested, including journalists and human rights observers, sparking a debate on the right to dissent and the true cost of governance. President William Ruto and Finance Committee Chairman Kimani Kuria have defended these measures, claiming they reflect the voices of the people. The bill has been amended to remove certain controversial tax proposals following public outcry, including the 16% VAT on bread and financial services and the 2.5 motor vehicle tax. The Finance Bill 2024 seeks to generate an additional 229.153 billion Kenya shillings, raising total projected revenues to 3.3 trillion Kenya shillings. A significant portion of the additional revenue is earmarked for critical sectors like education and healthcare, including 18 billion Kenya shillings for hiring junior secondary teachers and supporting the new university funding model aimed at alleviating financial burdens for low-income families. However, an urgent and underlying impetus for these tax hikes is Kenya's ever-growing public debt. As of December 2023, Kenya's public debt soared to a staggering 11.14 trillion Kenya shillings, marking a new high for the country and an increase of 1.93 Kenya shillings from the previous year. The alarming rise in debt necessitates fiscal measures to ensure the nation's financial stability and sustainability. Moreover, the bill's amendments to the Data Protection Act bring to the forefront issues of privacy and state surveillance. By allowing personal data to be shared with the Kenya Revenue Authority without explicit consent, we must ask ourselves, are we compromising individual freedoms for the sake of fiscal expediency? As we navigate these complex intersections of economic policy and civil liberties, the choices we make today will define the kind of society we aspire to be, a society that values both prosperity and the rights of its citizens. At the heart of the Finance Bill 2024 lies a fundamental question. How do we balance the urgent need for revenue with the equally pressing need for social equity? The proposed excise duties on essential services and everyday commodities risk widening the gap between the wealthy and the poor, challenging the government's commitment to inclusive growth. Are we inadvertently penalizing those who are already struggling to make ends meet, pushing basic necessities farther out of reach? As the Finance Bill 2024 makes its way through the legislative process, it becomes clear that this is more than just a matter of numbers and policies. It's a reflection of our national values, our priorities, and our collective vision for the future. Will we rise to the challenge of creating a fair and equitable society, or will we allow the weight of fiscal demands to overshadow the needs of our most vulnerable citizens? The decisions made today will resonate for generations to come, shaping the fabric of the Kenyan society. Let us engage thoughtfully and courageously, ensuring that our path forward is one that fosters both economic resilience and social justice.
Traceability TV. We trace it, you trust it. Traceability TV. We trace it, you trust it.